they watch a lot of film and they spend all their time at the facility. But Tom Brady is the Patriot way, and that's the reason why Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl right now, and the Patriots aren't.
So that is what Danny Amendola said. Jeff Saturday, what do you think of that?
Danny Amendola is high. Put that up there, bro. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me, dude? Listen, I'm sure he's Brady's those things, but give me a break, man. Hey, in case anyone's confused, in the 20 years that Tom Brady spent with the Patriots defense gave up 18 points a game. 18 points. You don't think you're going to win a lot of games in the NFL giving up 18? Of the 6 championships, his defense was in the top 10, all of those wins. Like, it does matter. I love Tom Brady. I think what he's done has been absolutely remarkable. Give the coach some credit, man. It is an and conversation, not an or. It is an and. They were as successful as they were because they worked together. But Bill Belichick had the game plan to put it together from a defensive perspective, special teams, and offense. So all this idea that one guy gets all the credit is laughable. Danny Amendola, I don't know what got into him, but he is straight up high. I don't know if he's in California, Colorado. I'm not sure whether states is legal, but he's in one of them states right now. I'm just letting y'all know.
Fair enough. Swagoo, I was looking through your notes, and you had an interesting take on this. What did you think when you heard that conversation?
I tend to agree more. Now, I know that it's not all Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is not responsible for it all. But, G, you know me, I've been players. Players make great coaches. Trust me, they overcome coaching a lot, and Bill Belichick is not immune to that. Nick Saban, one of the greatest college coach that's ever done it. I played for him, had to overcome coaching at times. Greg Popovich, I'm sure Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and David Robinson had to overcome coaching. The bottom line is this. There's a correlation between the greatest of all times and the greatest coaches. Phil Jackson, right, won championships. Coincidentally, he had Jordan, and then he had Kobe and Shaq. Like, this is not one of those situations where we have to have this against each other. But players are more responsible for championships. Players are more responsible for organizations having success over a long period of time. You don't think Willie McGinnis and Vince Wilfork and Richard Seymour and all of those, James, all of those guys that played defense for the New England Patriots had a lot to do with the Patriot way as well? That's where I disagree with Danny Amendola. But I guarantee you this. They wouldn't have went to 9 without Tom Brady at quarterback. And that was the most important part of that whole situation. Because even though they gave up 18 points, Jeff, when they got the Super Bowls, Tom Brady had to pull last-minute drives and do all of these things. Had to mount a comeback against the Atlanta Falcons. How you like that defensive game plan early in the game? So, look, I'm more players. I'm more for the players being the reason.
They had 3 points until they came back, so you can't say it's all on the defense. Like, everybody was playing bad till the end. But think about, they stopped the greatest show on turf. The Colts, which I was a part of, one of the most prolific offensive, they held us to 3 points in AFC Championship games. Like, this isn't just Tom Brady. Vinatieri bust out 2 really important kicks, right? So it's all of it. My whole point with Amendola is you can't just credit one guy with all these things. And the guys you just named, listen, the Hall of Fame should be littered with guys from the Patriots defense. I can assure you, I saw them one-on-one. I understand how good those cats were. So the game plan they placed together, man, it is freaking for real. And by the way, Belichick put that together. So you got to give him some kind of credit. By the way, Amendola, he gave you a job. So come on, man. Like, give me a break.
Belichick was a defensive coordinator before he got to the Patriots. Quick final thought, Graziano. Where do you fall on all this?
Well, what I first thought was, we had Danny Amendola on a 90-minute NFL Live last summer, and I was begging him to say something this interesting the whole show, and he didn't. So I wonder where this was then. But look, Bill Belichick's not going to win 6 Super Bowls if he doesn't find the greatest quarterback of all time in the 6th round. Tom Brady's not going to win 6 Super Bowls if Bill Belichick's not as good as he is at maneuvering the salary cap and putting a roster together. To Jeff's point, it's and, not or.
Brother went on Twitter. Dak's brother, Tad, went on Twitter with the following. He was commenting on a picture of Jared Goff with the caption that with Jared Goff being traded to Detroit, every quarterback in the 2016 draft class besides Dak Prescott has been cut, traded, or benched. And Tad wrote on top of it, so the guy who was never supposed to make it is now the last one standing. Let that sink in. So that's a little glimpse into the mentality right now of the family. Swagoo, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the evidence is there, G. Like, I get it. I get it. Every quarterback, Jared Goff's situation, paid after a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, paid after he had a great MVP season, was in that conversation. Dak Prescott just been sitting idle, just sitting in Dallas, doing his thing, numbers speaking for themselves, playing at the same high level that these other two guys was playing at, and he's sitting here in his third cycle. I'm with Dan. I know we have to report it, but the frustration level for me is beyond. And I get it that we got to figure out the salary cap, and I understand that there's numbers that need to come into play so you can build around and have the type of players you want to have. I understand all of that. But I was saying 2 years ago, this ain't normal. I screamed it. It ain't normal. We sitting here again about to have the same conversation about the offseason with new things. Yep. An ankle is a new thing. Yep. A roster is a new thing. A salary cap is a new thing. And if the negotiations were hard the previous 2 years, guess how hard they done got now? And Dak has had time to think, been away from the organization, seen the things that have transpired. And by no means am I saying he's not excited to potentially get back. But again, I will repeat this. Dak Prescott, I advise you, do not sign a tender. You have to play hardball with the Dallas Cowboys at this point. There is nothing left to do. Now, if it is something left to do, I'm going to let Jeff Saturday and Dan Graziano tell me what that is. But in my mind, there's nothing left for Dak to do. Everything on the Cowboys.
I think Jeff may have an idea, and I can preface it by saying that over the last 5 seasons, the player in the National Football League who has made the most money is Kirk Cousins. Jeff Saturday, pick it up from there.
Keep Kirk Cousins to death, baby. Just keep chopping that wood. 37 million, 42 million. I'm going to keep going up, man. I don't care what the cap is. I don't care what the rest of it is. You're going to give me exactly what I want, or I'm going to keep banging you over the head until I get my money and go to another team and make the money I wanted with the years I wanted with that. I have done everything I needed to do to show you what type of player I am, what type of leader I am, what type of leader I am in the community. Like, just keep rolling out all the what I've already shown you. There's nothing else to show me. What you need to show me, Jerry Jones, is the checkbook. That's what you need to show me. That's all that we need to talk about. I don't care how y'all get on the radio and tell me how much you love me, all those kind of things. You show me by paying me. And that's the conversation Saturday. That should have been had years ago. And listen, the more he waits, the better the leverage is for him. I'm not in a hurry, right? I saw what your team looked like without me, right? I saw what everything's happened. I saw what the coaching staff, you already fired a DC you just hired. Like, I could have fixed that. You saw what I looked like in the first 4 games. I at least kept us in it. Everything he's done, Greeny, and to Swagoo's point, he has put it, all the chips are in. They got to make a bet, man. That's the bottom line. He's got Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones needs to pay the man his money.
And Graziano, you always want to tell us how amicable the conversations are and how it's a two-way street and the Cowboys want to get it done. The only thing I can say is that in every other situation in the entire sport, when a team wants to get a deal done with the quarterback, they do. This is the only time it hasn't. Right. It didn't happen in Washington because they didn't want to get a deal done with Kirk Cousins, which suggests to me that despite what they say, the Cowboys still don't want to go all the way with Dak Prescott, because in every other case in the sport, it works out.
But what's all the way? I mean, this conversation started with a tweet about Goff and Wentz being traded or benched, and Dak still being there. If Dak had wanted the Goff or Wentz deal last year, he could have taken it, but he wanted a shorter deal. This is a two-way street, right? It's not just because the Cowboys don't want to sign. He hasn't liked what they've put in front of him because he doesn't like the years. It's not the money. So there has been an effort from the Cowboys, and, you know, there has been resistance from Dak's side. It's not just on Dallas.